Spring practice is underway for several SEC teams. We got 7 more starting this week, and by the end of next week or the week after, every team's going to be underway. So what are the biggest question marks from the quarterback rooms from each team? Yeah, we have question marks. We have competitions going on at several different positions. But we just talk about quarterbacks here. So if you like the quarterback niche stuff, if you're a college football junkie and you want to keep up with what's going on with these quarterback topics and you want quarterback content, consider subscribing here. But let's talk about each team briefly. What are we looking for? What do we want to see their quarterbacks do, during spring practice with the limited of 15, 16 practices, however many they have, and including the spring game? Like, what do we want to see? Let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's go ahead and hit on Georgia first with Carson Beck, arguably the best quarterback in all of college football, at least heading into 2024. Like, what do you want to see from him? What can he continue to do? Well, you just want to see him mesh with new teammates. I think that's the biggest thing for Carson Beck. You want to mesh with new teammates. You want to continue to build on what you did in 2023, and you want to stay healthy. Like, there's not a ton of question marks in this quarterback room, right? Similar to Ole Miss. Let's go in with Ole Miss, Jackson Dart. You saw him take big steps from 2022 to 2023. So now what do you want to do? Well, you want to continue to work on whatever Kiffin has for him to work on. You have a bunch of transfer players coming in, so you want him to mesh well with them. You want him to continue to grow and build as a leader. But question marks, not a lot of question marks for Jackson Dart. Let's move on to Texas. Quinn Ewers. Very similar to Dart, except I think you have more turnovers at the receiver position, right? You're losing 3-4 pass catchers, including your tight end from last year that are going to the NFL, but you replace them with 3 or 4 potential NFL guys. So you want to see Quinn Ewers mesh well with them. I think there's some improvement areas that we've talked about in other videos, but there's not a lot of question marks for Quinn Ewers in general. You want to see continued improvement. Just like with Dart, from 2022 to 2023, Quinn made some big jumps. So you want to see continued improvement, but I think overall with Quinn Ewers, you want to see him mesh well with the new receivers. Brady Cook, Mizzou. What do we want to see? I think it's similar to the other top guys that we've talked about. Like, there's not a lot of areas that, are question marks as it relates to Brady Cook. I just think continue meshing well with new guys and continue that improvement, because he had a huge jump as well. Just like Quinn, just like Jackson Dart, he had a big jump from 2022 to 2023. So you want to see him continue to work on what he's working on to make even a better jump in 2024. All right, we got a few more. We got one more kind of, solidified position, and then we got some question marks coming up. So Florida, Graham Mertz. Again, just like the guys we talked about, made a big jump from his time at Wisconsin to at Florida. I think that's a testament to the coaching staff at Florida, who I know is under some heat right now, and I get it. It's not looking favorable with their schedule and what's going on there. But I think Graham Mertz, you want to see him maintain what he did last year. Yeah, you want to step. You want him to continue to grow and improve, but he needs to maintain that level of play, right? So question marks, maybe more than the guys that we talked about previously, those kind of top half guys, but at least you have a solidified starter. You used to have a solidified dude at Florida. All right, let's go on to Alabama. Jalen Milroe. There are a lot of question marks for the whole team of Alabama right now. I'm not one to jump on the bandwagon and saying they're done by any means. I think they're going to probably surprise people. And I think Jalen Milroe has a shot to be the best quarterback in the SEC. Like, why doesn't he? Like, why can't he take the next steps, the steps that Quinn took last year, the steps that Jackson Dart took last year? Like, this was his first year starting. So I think there's a big opportunity for him to take the next steps and potentially be the guy. But admittedly, consistency has to be the number one focus, focusing on the small stuff, right? So what am I looking for in camp for Jalen Milroe? Consistency, hitting the easy throws, the underneath throws. We know the big throws are there, and then you want to see him mesh with DeBoer's offense. How is Kalen DeBoer going to surround Jalen Milroe? What's he going to do to put Milroe in the best position possible? So I think you want to see some consistency. You want to see how he meshes with DeBoer's offense, and you want to see what DeBoer's offense is for Milroe. Is it going to be a bit more creative? Are you going to utilize his athletic ability? So I think there are some question marks of how Milroe is going to be used and the improvements for Milroe in 2024 and seeing what happens in camp. But I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be just fine. Then we got Tennessee with Nico. There's question marks for sure, right? But I think the talent is obviously there. So I think you just want to see him get his feet wet, being the starting quarterback for these 15 practices. We saw him start against Iowa. We're not going to know exactly how everything's going to happen until starting the 2024 season actually starts. But I think we can see, okay, how is he handling the offense? How is he handling being the number one guy? We know the talent's there, the arm is there, the athletic ability is there. How is he running practice? Because he's the guy now. So that's what I want to see from Nico during camp. And that's kind of the same thing with LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier. For a backup quarterback, and we just talked about this in a recent video, he's got plenty of experience. but he doesn't have experience being the starting quarterback. He started one game. The rest of the playing time, there's been some valuable playing time and some big games, but he came in off the bench because Daniels got dinged up or hurt. So you want to see how he handles being the guy. I think that his limited playing time, you've seen him have great potential for explosive ability, but I want to see the turnovers go down. There's a stat someone put out in 12 of the games that Nussmeier's played in, in 7 of the games that Nussmeier's played in, he's had 12 attempts or more. And in those games, he has 7 interceptions. So you want to see him cut down on turnovers. You want to see him be a bit more accurate, but you want to see how he takes over the starting role in camp. Oklahoma, Jackson Arnold. Similar to Nuss, similar to Nico. Going to be a new starting quarterback. Has a ton of potential, big arm, good athlete. We saw him start in the bowl game. We saw him get into the games last year against BYU when Dillon Gabriel got hurt. But now we're going to see how he is as a true number one guy during practice, how he's leading his teams, right? That's what I'm looking for Dart. That's what I'm looking, not for Dart, excuse me. That's what I'm looking for Jackson Arnold. That's what I'm looking for Nico. And that's what I'm looking for Nuss. We want to see how they manage the team being the guy in these 15, 16 practices. All right, Texas A&M, Connor Wegman, someone I'm really high on. I think he's got a ton of potential. I'm excited to see how he does in Klein's offense. Well, I'm excited to see, Klein's offense and kind of what's being installed. Then I'm excited to see how he does in Klein's offense. So I think we'll get a glimpse of it in camp. I think we'll get an idea of what's being run and what they want to do in camp. And then we'll see more of it in 2024. Auburn. What do we want to see from the quarterback room, from Peyton Thorne? Well, we want to see the next steps. We want to see the ball being pushed downfield. Even if it's just in practice and camp, their yards per attempt, I think we're under 7 last year. It was 6 point something. Now, the pause is where we saw Peyton Thorne flash his athletic ability, but we want to see more from the passing game, right? We want to push the ball downfield. All right, South Carolina, Lenora Sellers. If you talk to any South Carolina fan, they're super, super excited for Sellers. There's a lot of hype around Sellers, too. So maybe you could throw Sellers in the category of Jackson Arnold and Nico and Garrett. Like, obviously, he's a new starting quarterback. So you want to see him take over, what it's like to be the guy, but there's probably still a competition going on, even if he's supposedly the guy. You got Robbie Ashford, who I guarantee did not transfer just to be the backup. He's transferring in to start. He wants to compete, right? So while Sellers is a guy you're getting really excited for, and he's got a ton of potential, he flashed a little bit last year, but didn't play a ton. He still has to compete with Robbie Ashford. So there's definitely going to be a competition in my mind going on, but there's a lot of hype. And so I'm excited to see Sellers get more playing time, even if he is competing, right? Just with the hype alone. Mississippi State. Blake Shapen, new quarterback, transfer from Baylor, and then we got Jeff Lebby, the new coach from Oklahoma. I want to see how they mesh. Can Lebby pull the best out of Shapen? We saw Shapen perform well at times for Baylor, just no consistency. It was kind of just. It was really hard for me to say, okay, was this Shapen's fault? Is this the Baylor's offense fault? So I think we're going to get maybe a clear answer, but I want to see, can Lebby pull the best out of Shapen? Arkansas. Taylon Green, most likely the guy that you're bringing in. I know you got Criswell there, and they're going to say it's a competition, but my money's on Green to be the guy. How is he going to fit Petrino's offense? What's Petrino going to do to make this offense run well with Taylon Green as the quarterback? We saw Green play well at times at Boise State. So I think the biggest thing for Green is you need to be the flash plays that you had, that needs to be consistent. The flashes you shown need to be consistent. So can Petrino bring that out of Green, and can Petrino maximize Green's talent? I think we're going to get some answers in camp, maybe not all the answers, but it's going to be exciting to see nonetheless. Kentucky, Brock Vandagriff finally given a chance to start. What's he going to be as a starting quarterback? We saw him flash in some of the spring games for Georgia. He was a high recruit, so I'm really excited to see him at Kentucky giving the full chance to be the starting quarterback. I was high on Brock Vandagriff. I thought maybe he was going to win the competition last year at Georgia, so excited to see just him given the chance and the shot to be Kentucky's quarterback. And then Vanderbilt. Look, I like Diego Pavia. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Really fun to watch at New Mexico State. It was a fun offense that fit him perfectly, so I'm just kind of excited just to see him at Vanderbilt. Nothing much to add there, right? So I think we hit every team. If we didn't, I apologize, but I think we got all 16 teams. So SEC fans, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What are you looking for your specific team? What do you want to see out of the quarterback room? And do you want me to spend more time talking about your team? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And again, if you like this quarterback niche stuff, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing. It does help the channel grow. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.